Hi everybody, Jo here again. How we doing? You know what I'm going to say to you. Time to treat yourself. Get yourself a brew, that cheeky biscuit, and let's have a catch up. Must admit I was very spoilt this week, and I had some lovely gluten-free cake sent in the post by a couple of our crafty ladies. So thank you very much. And I'm going to have one with a nice drink after we've had our little catch up. Now, I must admit I've had a bit of a bad week this week, but I know so many of you are feeling the same. Various things happen, don't they? Family events, injuries, and unfortunately I've got a friend who's quite poorly in hospital. So lots of things on my mind, and I think at the minute I had my first jab and all that knocked me ill as well. And do you know what? We've all got so much going on. So I thought it was more important than ever to come and have a catch up with you, and almost to say that, this catch up is more for me. So I'm coming in and I'm that friend that's knocking at your door saying, can I come in and have a brew with you, please? Because I just need a bit of a chat and I just need some time with you. So I'm coming into your house today, please, just for a nice little catch up with you. And I hope you'll indulge me. Make me a nice brew. You know my favourite, bit of a latte girl. Although I'm into caramel macchiatos at the minute, which probably isn't good. Although I have discovered my weight gain. Do you know what it is? It's because I've not been to the hairdressers. Because I've not had my hair cut. Can't believe I didn't think of that. So, could be interesting when I do finally get my hair cut, won't it? Anyway, so today I wanted to pop in and just share a very quick and simple design with you, but I think it's effective. But also just to let you know, sometimes obviously, as you know, I love to do a nice piece of art, take time building the layers up, and really put in lots of different, as you know, I'm into my chalk pencils, my Intense pencils, lots of inks, and really creating a lovely piece. But sometimes, when you just feel a bit and you don't want to do all that, but I wanted to send a nice card, and I've got a very special friend that this card's going to. Now, the beauty of this card, it all starts off with a piece of white card, and this is, I've got to be honest, I cut quite a few of this size. So anybody who does ATCs, so, and again, I know we've got a lot of newbies, and welcome to all the new followers on this channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. Honestly, it means the world to me. And your comments, I love reading your comments. Thank you. So for any of our new crafters, an ATC, it's the main importance of an ATC is the size. So it's 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And this is just a piece of card. You can make them out of MDF, you can make them out of hardboard, that choice is yours. But what they were was a way of artists years ago actually exchanging a piece of artwork. And the idea was, on the back, you write your name, you write, you title your piece, which I've got to be honest, I find the hardest of anything when I have to title a piece. And all you do is write your name and the date and your title, and if you want a message. And the idea was that when friends meet up, I've done quite a few workshops on these, and it's lovely. And one particular Cumbria workshop, we all made an artist trading card with what stamps we've been using in that workshop, and we put a message on the back, and we put them on a table, and then we all chose one. We didn't see who'd done it. Obviously, I know the person who was sat next to you would see, but the idea was that we would each take one. And we did that for a few months, actually, at the end. And it was lovely because I've built up a lovely collection of little pieces of art from the workshop ladies, from my crafty friends. And it's just a nice thing to do. You can even create a journal and add your pieces to a journal. Or if you want to send somebody a piece of work, and again, I know a lot of us are frightened of big pieces of work, and we're worried, what if it goes wrong? So these are perfect. And at the minute, I know quite a few of us, our confidence has taken a bit of a beating. I know mine certainly has. And I think when you're unwell, or with all this that's going on in the world, sometimes we need that safe little zone. And I've got to be honest, I find an ATC is my safe little zone. So as I say, 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And for me, that is, although it's tiny, isn't it? But it's lovely because you can make a nice piece of artwork. But look, you add it to some black card, and this is a 6x6 card blank, and I've gone for off-white today. This is sort of an ivory cream colour, and because I just like that, and I think that is lovely and stylish in itself. And again, if you're not feeling well, I think to create something like this boosts your confidence, so then you can go on and create a larger piece should you wish. I mean, I've got to be honest, I did get a bit carried away after making it, and I did create this one. So, you know, when I was saying, so it's the same sort of principle, but I just went larger and introduced a few other stamps. So, you know, it's all about getting yourself back. And if your mojo's gone, this is a lovely way to get your mojo. Remember your envelopes as well. I've just stamped a couple of the butterfly on the envelope. One thing I will say with your envelopes, do be mindful, I only use a permanent ink on my envelopes. I know I have seen some crafters using the dye-based inks, but I always worry if it's going to rain, my work will smudge. So for me, permanent ink only on the envelope. Now, this whole design came about because I treated myself to a new Lavinia stamp, and it's called Buttercups. And again, look at this. I love to find what I think, I often call them unsexy stamps, because they're not the ones that shout out. You know, when you look at a set of stamps, it's a bit like when you go and you decide on chocolates. There's always the ones that you know you're going to love, the ones that have got the most filling, say, but then there's the ones, it's like this. You know, it's no colour, it's nothing, buttercups. You know, they're not the best flower, are they? Do you ever know anybody who says, oh, I love buttercups, can you go and get me a bunch of buttercups? But for me, these are the real worker stamps, and I just love to create designs with these. So that's what I'm using. And really easy. I'm going to use a couple of Elements ink pads, just because, again, I know quite a few crafters have got them, but if you've only got Distress ink, if you've only got Artistry, if you've only got whatever, just a couple of your ink pads, and go for, you're going to want a yellow and an orange. Now, again, you could mix your ink pads. If I hadn't got an orange in this, I could use my, say, my Spice Marmalade in my Distress ink and just mix them. They're dye-based, it's not a problem. But I just wanted to use a couple of my elements because, again, I'm going for what's nearest on my desk. And, you know, this is just so quick. Now, I'm going to use my smoothie. You could use a blending tool, and I'm literally just going to add some ink. And this is great because if you're not that good with your blending, do you know what? It's such a small piece of card. Doesn't matter. Now, I am just holding my hand down because I will get finger marks, and I know it's only a small piece of art, but I do try and keep my my good work practices. So I'm going to add the yellow there. And it's a good way of practicing your blending. Circular motions, and then just blend down the edge. Right, that's a bit uneven. Let's just add a bit more in that corner. Balance it up. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So that was Sundance. And then I'm going to add paprika. So it's sort of a reddy, orangey sort of colour. I'm going to blend that at the top. I'm going to take a little bit off. It's such a fiery colour, look. Just take a bit off. And this is just on my non-stick craft mat. I'm just using, again, what's here. Again, just blending my way around. I like to just go down the sides a bit more. Then I'm going to pick up a bit more colour there. Might as well use it. It's on my mat. It's the beauty of these mats. Rather than a piece of paper underneath, you can actually save your ink. And again, just pick it up. And I'm happy with that. Now, do you know what? You could cut yourself quite a few of these backgrounds. I'm just going to flick it. My fan brush, as always, is in a pot of water. I'm just going to flick that. So again, if you were having a day when, you know, you felt a bit off and you didn't know what to do, but you fancied doing some crafting, you could make yourself a few of these backgrounds. And then maybe the following day you might feel a bit better and actually want to stamp them up. Or quite often what happens to me is by the time I've made my backgrounds, I go off and have a nice coffee while the faux bleaching's working. I come back and I want to actually stamp them up. Look at that. Now I'm just going to block this because of time. But this is just, I mean, to be honest, you could try lovely. I mean, you know I have a thing about orange, and I just love orange and yellow at the minute. It really makes me feel so happy. But you could do some of these blues and greens. And just have you could have, do you know what? You could make yourself, I mean, out of an A4 sheet, I bet you could get quite a few pieces of these. Or how many offcuts have you got this size? And you could make yourself a lovely stack of backgrounds ready just to stamp up. And you'd be surprised how many of your stamps look really good on this size. Now, I'm just going to bring my heat tool in, but I've got to warn you, my heat tool's been a bit temperamental today. So sorry about the noise. Oh, at least it's working. Oh, hang on. It keeps stopping. Look. Oh, come on. Come on, be good to me. Thank you, that's better. I would say always dry from the back. Right, we'll call it a day there. I have ordered a new heat tool. You'd be glad to know a quieter one, so hopefully that will come. Now, the reason you really want to make sure it's dry thoroughly is because it will stamp better. So do you know what? If my stamping isn't perfect, you'll know the reason why. We'll blame Mr. Heat Tool. Now, do remember with your stamps, you've got your acetate. So again, I can have a look. Now, it might be you want the yellow at the top. But I've got to be honest, for me, I just want the yellow peeping through here and the orange at the top. But look, straight away you can see with your silhouette how stunning that is. Now, again, you could have done it. You can do them landscape or portrait. You could have done orange, going to yellow. But I just fancied a row. Now, when I'm stamping, for me, I would always stamp in the middle and then stamp either side. I think that's come because of years of stamping. If you're stamping a word, you always stamp with the middle letter and then go either side. Because you can guarantee if you start stamping here, you'll run out of room here and end up squidging them on. I mean, how many of you have done that? So I tend to just do the same with my stamps like this. So I'm just using the black. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to stamp the middleish one. I say middleish because if it's not quite middle. And again, if you're starting off, you could do a lot worse than get one of these stamps because they're so useful. You can come back to it again and again. Now, unfortunately, at the minute, I have had a few sympathy cards to make. And you know what? This stamp makes a beautiful topper for a sympathy card because you don't need a lot. Just a nice light grey background. And just the black on the white. And don't worry, we've got a little bit extra there. That doesn't matter at all. So this one I'm going to sort of put next to it, not match it perfectly. Doesn't quite tessellate, but it does look nice in a row. And then let's do the other side. I always try and work out, right, so I need to ink this side, don't I? Messes with my little head, that. The number of times I ink the whole thing because, do you know what, if I try and think about which half to ink, you can guarantee I'll ink the wrong half. Now again, it's a silhouette, so, you know, do give the ink time to soak in. Now, if you're a fiend like me and you want things to absolutely match here, just take your black pen and just join any bits there. Look at that. I think that looks so pretty. Now, I'm going to add my butterfly now. I'm going to go for the smaller butterfly, I think. I'll just put him there in that little break. Right, so that's my inking done. Move that out of the way. Now, just at the bottom, should blot it really, shouldn't I? As I say, try and get in good habits. Now, at the bottom, I just want to bring in a little bit of graphite, just to almost darken that base. And it was important I blotted it, otherwise the black ink would smudge. And what you'll find is the graphite almost, I don't know, it darkens that base up, but almost looks a bit misty. And I think the yellow pops a bit more because of the grey. Now again, I didn't use a lot, just a little bit of that graphite. Now, obviously some nice white highlights, but I love it. Seeing all these black, you know, when you look at the detail there, all these lovely little black dots. Are they insects? Is it the mist? I'm going to come in with my white pen and add a little bit of highlight on my butterfly. And then just on the heads of the buttercups. Now, the other thing I like to do, now again, if you wanted to highlight the odd stalk look, you can. But where we've done the faux bleaching, I like to put some little white dots almost in the middle of some of these faux bleach dots. And they almost look like, it's almost a spark. And again, that's just such a lovely, lovely thing to do. Add a few down there. So like I say, how pretty is that? Now for me, the last thing is, I mean, such a lovely piece of work. And when you put it on the black look, and then again, when you put white behind it, we just grab a white piece of card. Look how it stands out. But I'm going to add a little bit of glitter to this. And I have to admit, this seems to be my favourite. I seem to keep going back to this one. Christmas tinsel. Like I say, I do love these jars. So I'm just going to get my copy paper back. And I just think some glitter at the base of this will really make it, just give it something else. And especially because we've got all these little black dots, look. So I'm just going to dot in with my Quickie glue pen. And I'm just going to dot, 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 dot. Now, I don't know if you've tried these glitters. They are absolutely beautiful. And as I say, it is funny how I've gone for this colour. And the beauty of these, like your embossing powder, chuck the whole lot on if you want. Mind you, do get so much. And it's got large pieces and small pieces. And then tip that off. And I tend to tap the back of mine with a paintbrush. I must admit, I did see, I have seen people using the fan brush for this. I've got to be honest, I keep a separate brush only because I'm going to get glitter on here. And I find it hard enough keeping glitter out of all my things. So I do try and have a separate brush for my glitter. Like I say, because it does worry it'll get in and I don't want it on my nice painting brush that I'm going to use for my painting. I mean, let's face it, you know what we're like, ladies and gents. We get glitter everywhere. The number of times Eric is wearing glitter. He does keep saying to me, I'm a black Labrador, not a glittery dog. So let's tip that back in there. And again, it's useful to just have your paintbrush to tap. You want to get all that glitter back in. You don't want to lose any of that. Must admit, these pots will keep you going for ages. And there we have it, look. So that would just go on there. Now for me, as I say, for a nice quick and just the sort of nice project that you can enjoy, relax and take your time with. And there's, oh look at the envelope. I always like to put something just on the little flap there as well. So there's my one that's going to my friend, and a very nicely made a topper, so I can pop that on another card, and I've got another card that I can send out. I mean, this one, you know, if I wanted, I could even stamp Pip in and put an Easter greeting, because I think that would actually make a nice Easter card. Just put Pip in there, little Easter bunny. So I'm thinking I might use that for an Easter card. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. As I say, it was just me coming in for a little chat with you. And really just to show you what you can do if you're feeling a bit off. And I know we're all got off days at the minute. How you can just spend a little bit of time and create what I think is a lovely topper for a card. So I hope you have a go. I'd love to know what you think. What do you think of the Buttercup stamp? Have you got it already? Has it been around for years? Is it one I've missed? Can't believe that. I'm so pleased I bought it though. this is definitely going to be used again and again and again. So you take care, everybody. Thanks for spending time with me. And as always, love and hugs. Bye for now.